It's Seiko Saturday with another unboxing and review of a new Seiko. And this one just happens to be a newer model that came out not long ago. And I'm sure most of you have seen the new Seiko models that have come out. So let's dive in because, of course, it is a dive watch. And I do love that brand. And there it is, the new Mini Samurai or Modern Samurai, whatever you want to call it. The SRPL13 is the reference number. Comes in your classic little Seiko pillow. All the materials underneath that nobody really reads. Classic warranty and manual. Some of these nowadays just come with a little card. Well, there you go. There's the card. Classic Seiko style. And I was interested in trying these out. This is a little smaller version than the original old school Seiko Samurais, but they have a lot of similarities, but of course it's a little bit smaller. And let's clean this up just a bit. You can of course see this is in the style of the original Seiko Samurais with this, I would call it a matte aluminum bezel. And this is a semi-matte dial. You see the integrated color wheel, which is kind of cool. I will say the color wheel for us old guys, it's really small. It is very small. The lume, of course, is excellent. And I will post a little photo of the lume here at the end. But as you can see, it's classic Seiko. Seiko is well known and renowned for their lume. It does a good job. It is a little bit different shape on the lume, but they modernized that Samurai a little bit. It still has the drilled lugs. The measurements based on what's online, this is to be 41.7 diameter, 12.3 millimeters thick. I was gonna measure that real quick and see what I came up with. They're probably picking up that bezel because the bezel seems a little bit wider. I've got 41.2 on the width and 12.5, quite a bit thinner than the original. The lug to lug online is really long at 49, and I thought that would be surprising, but I see it's only 48. And if we measure the outside of that bracelet, you're looking at 49.4. Maybe that's the measurement that they're talking about. Well, I tell you what, it's nice. It is well done, drilled lugs. These have the 4R35 classic reliable Seiko movement and signed case back, your classic little wave pattern on the back. Bracelet, classic Seiko, but it's been changed a little bit more angular approach there. Of course, you've got the little diver's extension tab there, a little bit of micro adjustment, classic Seiko style. I mean, nothing amazing. I've not been impressed with any Seiko bracelet that I have handled, but they get the job done. They work. They do have solid end links. I will say if you lose these pins and collars that are inside here, this does have the pin and collar set up. It is very difficult to obtain those. I will say Seiko eventually sent me a set and I was able to order them, but you know, of course I had to pay for them. So it's not easy to get a hold of those. And I really wanted to get one of these because of course it is a newer version of the Samurai and it gets that name from the angled approach on the end. And I wanted to compare that with the old one of my favorites and one of my go-to weekend watches, my old school Seiko Samurai. And this bad boy, I love this watch. Both of these have the Hardlex crystal, of course. They are not the King version that would have a sapphire crystal. For me, it does not really make a difference. I actually like a little bubble so that I can, you know, see the date a little bit better, especially on this new one. It's so small. It's just done a little bit differently. You can see definitely there are different dimensions. I measured this one out, the dimensions of the old Samurai, which this one is the SRPC07. both 200 meters of water resistance. So yes, nobody's going to dive that deep, but you're looking at 43.8 in diameter, 13.5 in thickness. At least that's what is quoted. Let's measure that and see what we get, because sometimes that bezel is different. This one, 44.2, a little bit over 43.7, almost a 44 millimeter watch, and 13 flat, I see. And maybe we're not picking up that 13.1, 13.0 right on the back. Not that much difference. This one has a 48 millimeter lug to lug. Of course, it's a little bit more than 49 if you measure it right out here, because those little male end links do hang over a little bit. And you can see the changes in the side. The old school one here on the left has a little bit more angled approach, a little beefier, a little extra material. Of course, bracelets are a little bit different. You have this polished on the side, a little bit more of a classic style, but a little bit of angled bracelet there. Whereas this one definitely has taken some cues from aftermarket bracelets. And I will say, I noticed when I got this new one, it looks a lot like a bracelet that's very popular with these watches that comes from Islander. Islander makes this aftermarket bracelet for the old version. And of course, the old version, this is 22 millimeter lugs. Now these are 20, but I noticed that it looked quite a bit like that. It has a little bit of the angle to it, maybe a little more subdued, but this hefty machine look, kind of sharp. I like it. The weight of these are drastically different, and they of course are going to have different wearing experiences. You're going to have on the left here, this one came in at almost 200, I think it was 181 grams. Yeah, 181. That is with the number of links to fit my 7.5 or 7 and 7.3 inch wrist. And this one only came in at 159, sized to the exact same size. So definitely a little bit of a different wearing experience. You know, that's a 44 millimeter watch, which I like a little bit bigger watch. I've got a sharp taper to my wrist. I think that looks great. Wears very well. Of course, a little tall, but I'm going to put on this new one and let you see the difference here, because yes, they do wear very differently. Although this one wears not as big as a 44, more like a 42. It does stand up taller than you would think, I will say, but I am very impressed. I like that classic style. It's sharp looking. I will say the way this sinks in, a little deep, I guess I would say, cavern there. I don't know, it just seems like it doesn't really blend in quite as much as the old school one, but I do like this bracelet design overall on the new one. I think it's very well done. These little angles that they put here that match the little downturned bevels there. And of course, Seiko does a really nice job at the brushing finishes, etc. Really, really well done dial. And this is actually a discontinued model. It's been discontinued for a long time. I looked it up. I think it's as of 2018. It has been discontinued, but I was not sure whether that was the titanium version or a different version. So as you see, this one is old, and the lume still excellent. I'll try to do a little video of at the end here showing the difference in the looms, and well, there you go. You definitely see old versus new right there, a little bit more subdued. Everyone else's mileage may vary, of course. I will say I have been wearing this on a Barton rubber strap that actually is not this one, it's tan. I just think it looks really, really, really nice. I've also been wearing it on a really nice looking Erica's original, and just very comfortable, easy to wear. This one I actually do wear on this rubber Barton, and Barton makes some great straps, super comfortable, easy wearing. It's quite a bit of heft to it when you're wearing it on a bracelet, but if that's what you're looking for, you like a chunky diver, well, there you go. Honestly, you can't go wrong with any of the Seikos. So these are hard to find these days, but these new ones, they come in other colorways. I really like the crimson color. You know, of course, I'm a Sooner fan. That one might be on my list. Hey, thanks for watching. Everybody like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for this lume video if I can figure out how to put it together. Thanks for watching. There you go, awesome lume shot. You got the old school on the left and the new one on the right. Very cool. Both excellent lume, just a little bit different.